Hello, good afternoon everyone. I say good afternoon because I think it's close to midday where the airplane is at. Yeah, just about past midday. So I got to stream a little bit earlier than I expected, and that's because I've got somewhere to go. But also gives me an opportunity to show you a pretty nifty feature of the Aerosoft ToLiss A340-600 Pro. I'll just rewind a little bit so I can tell you where we are, how things have been going so far, and then we can hop on in and discuss the arrival into London Heathrow, and I'll show you the feature that I said I really like. So here we are. Well, I think we're just about the midway point. Actually, we crossed 30 degree west. We're almost at the end of our oceanic trek. It ends at position Sunot. We do have a while to go. If things were going according to plan, we would have landed at 16:48 Zulu. So that's actually another 2 hours until landing. We're gonna cut it short a little bit. Flight went pretty good. I think I was actively around until the Canadian border. This part it was more like passive, and we came back just after Greenland. Setting up and talking about setting up for the arrival, or planning for the arrival stream. Aircraft's in good condition. Recap: departed LAX, no problem. The arrival airport is London Heathrow, and so far it's okay. I think we started the cruise at level 350. We've stepped up 2 levels since, so we're at level 390, heading eastbound over the Atlantic. All the shades are down, and we're kind of in low power mode. Just hanging out till the arrival starts. Pretty close to it, so we're gonna jump ahead a bit. It's a sneak peek at the preview. I've used it before, just never on stream, and I'm hoping it goes well. Aircraft is good. We are now 27 tons. We departed with 95 something, so we've used quite a bit. Each engine's used about 16.7 tons, so thirsty. Cabin elevation is 7,030, and at the moment it's 1450 Zulu when we're going to jump ahead. Since we left the gate at LA, it's been 8 hours and 5 minutes. Since we took off runway 25 right, it's been 7 hours and 51. Looking ahead, it doesn't look like we're expecting any air traffic control in London. Gatwick is online though, and maybe as we get closer, something comes up. So we're gonna start setting up for the arrival. I'll get you the latest weather conditions in London Heathrow. It's currently variable at 4 knots, 30 degrees, 1024 is the altimeter. Given that the wind is not favoring any particular direction, I'm looking here at flight radar, and most of the arrivals, well, all the arrivals into London Heathrow in the real world is arriving runway 9 or left. So we'll plan for runway 9 or left as well, and I'll show you how that goes. I'll show you what the plan's gonna be like for Heathrow. So this is London Heathrow. It's got 2 strips, 2 directions each, so 4 runways as depicted here. Longest landing is 3,592, which is the one we're going to use today. As far as arrivals go, we were meant to do the Nugra 2 hotel. Starts at Nugra, goes to Tobit at level 200, Sopit at level 150, Westcote, max speed 220, and then Bravo, November, Bovington, VOR. There's max speed 220 there, level 70. You enter the stacks for London when you're here. In fact, I'll show you the stack system or how it works. A lot of the airports have long transitions, so they bring you on downwinds and they curve you around. Munich, Frankfurt, Dubai, they use the system. London, however, a little bit less. They bring you into one of these VORs, so Bovington, Lamburn, Biggin, and I want to say Ockham. But these are the 4 ones that I do know. So you start your arrival there at you start at the top of the stack, say level 170 or 150, and then you shuttle down 1,000 foot per minute as you clear it, and eventually you will be cleared for the ILS approach, or some form of approach, either via radar vectors or what we'll do today. It's actually just a very short downwind from Bovington. Whereas if you are from London, it's sort of a more traditional downwind transition. So from Bovington, we'll join the downwind, join a crosswind, a base, sorry, and then on to final. So that's radio 176 for about 5 miles, and then we'll intercept radio 264 from Lamburn until 4 plus 34 miles. They will turn south for radio 357 from Golf Whiskey Charlie, just quite a way down. Those speeds are published, but we are at 220 here. On the base leg, we'll be flying 180 knots. Once we're past about 39.5 miles from Golf Whiskey Charlie, we'll turn onto final, and then it's 160 to 4 from that point on. We crossed the 10-mile fix at 3,000, 7.5 miles at 2,500. That's the platform there. It's a 3-degree glide path. We'll set up our minimums for Cat 1, 280 using a category D. Lots of notes. Aircraft unable to receive. Okay, this is not really applicable for flight sim because there's usually no outages. A lot of warnings in terms of RNAV substitutions, but we are supposed to monitor the raw data, which I shall try to do. The frequency is common for 9 left and 27 right, so we need to verify that the localizer ident is India Alpha Alpha. Max speeds in the holding is 220, and the holding speeds are applicable only at Bravo November, Lima Alpha Mike, Biggin and Malcolm, so we are at Bovington, so those holding speeds apply. And above level 150 we'll do standard IKEA holding speeds. Missed approach will go to 1,580 feet or 0 miles, which before India Alpha Alpha, whichever is later. They will turn left, heading 025, and we expect eventually some kind of vector to go somewhere. The climb altitude is 3,000 feet. Things go well, we'll land on the runway. 3-degree glide path that's 50 meters wide. I've seen 60 meters wide and 50 meter wide, so this is slightly different. Once we touch down, if we do, 9 left, there's a displaced threshold here, so we're expecting to touch somewhere around between Alpha Bravo 12 and Alpha Bravo 11. All the way, and we'll use Alpha 6 to exit, flaps 3 for the landing, out of reverse, turn right on Alpha. If there's ground, we'll contact them there. If not, Alpha, I think this is Echo, and then we'll join Golf for parking at Terminal 3 somewhere. We'll decide a bit closer. The flight to Los Angeles a few days ago we used 327, so might be wise. I'll take a look at the alley to see if there's anybody in there. If there is, we'll wait. If there isn't, we'll go in. If it seems we're waiting too long, I'll just change the gate to something more available. So that's a plan. The alternate airport is Manchester. For Manchester, we require minimum diversion fuel of 8.2 tons. And if you look now at the MCDU, you'll see we're landing with 15.6 using our fuel prediction. We see there's an extra 7 tons on board. That gives us 46 minutes to hold around until we decide we need to go to Manchester. So, everything upset. I'm gonna put glasses on, get the hat off, and I'm gonna go put those numbers in. So the arrival's already loaded, the speeds have been discussed. If you want to see how I do it, of course, just put up a message and I'll show you how that's done. So the Airbus requires that I put in some information. So the QNH 1024, we're back to hectopascals here in the civilized world. 30 degrees Celsius. It says variable at 4 knots. I'll pretend it's a tailwind 270 at 4 knots. The MDA, as discussed from the ILS approach shots, is the Cat 1 minimum of 280 and config 3 for the landing. So all that is in. What we need to do next is to see where we start the descent. It's going to be at 1619 at Eclad, Wall at 1670, and Penal at 1614. So let's go to Wall. So we do that here on the EFB. This lets us jump ahead. Just to be a good neighbor, I'm going to take a look to see if there's anybody now at Wall that I won't crash into. There's Ryanair 5217 at 30,000 feet, and there's someone at 18,000 as well. So it doesn't look like we're in anybody's way. I'm checking that on Navigraph, and we're going to jump ahead. Just need to find how we do that. Oh, sorry. Fault scenarios. Yeah, we have random fault on, and we did get a random fault. And the fault should have put a cell here. And I couldn't figure out cell what. So there was cell call, I was pressing around, checked vPilot, and then I realized we couldn't select VHF 2, which makes sense, which is why VHF 1 has also, VHF pump 2 box is also gone automatically to VHF 1. It wasn't, can't be selected. Not a big deal, but we just can't monitor guard, we can't do the 2 frequencies swap. Not too bad, however, because... Oh no, it is bad. I don't know why I expected this airplane as 3 radios. Okay, my bad. So only 2. Over the oceanic crossing, I've also made another change for the airways. So I put RMP 10. I'm gonna clear that, and we'll let we'll let it do its own thing. Unfortunately, the Navigraph data doesn't show you the required spec of the airway, so it always defaults to 2 or 1 or 0.3 to attain the terminal area. Good. Back to figuring out how we do the jump ahead. I don't do it often, so I believe it's... Okay, I need to find it. Sounds and replay. That's not it. Oh, good lord. I don't remember how it was done. Obviously you can increase sim rate, but there was one where you can just jump ahead. Well, let's do landing performance while we're here. 09 left. Let's do 4 knots with a tailwind. 270. And I was checking it already, so perfect 3. I use no reverses. But obviously we'll have better performance because we will use it, and that's what we have. And in case of an engine out, we're still able to do 17% radiant, which is because you only lose 25% of your thrust in case of an engine failure. Auto pause, no. Weight variant, no. Oh gosh. I promise you I had done this before. Ah, here we go. It says jump to next waypoint, so we decided that was going to be wall, and then we're going to skip to the selected FMS point that changes the time and everything. Runs the simulation essentially until here. So let's go. Okay. Looks like it's worked. Let's look outside. We are over the English countryside. Weather is weak. Okay, that's because of the atmospheric conditions. Speed brakes are out. As you see, the autopilot disconnects to fix it. And it's also a good time to see. I'll pull the speed brakes out. I'll put it back in now. Very small movements make pretty large changes. That's a function of your true airspeed because we're quite high. Obviously these changes barely change by about 200 foot per minute closer to sea level, but since we are at level 390, pretty big changes here. To get the autopilot back on, and that's something else for the tech log. And we're right here at the top of descent. I'm not sure why it says ETP, but it's not intentional. Good. So that seems to have worked out. As you can see, it's also modified the fuel we have left, the time we've been flying, and modifies that there as well. I'll go on to VOR, and there's a few VORs I need to tune for the arrival, for both the stall and the, what am I gonna say, the ILS. So Bravo November, I want LAM as well. So from here, from Nugra, we're essentially gonna just fly our nav to Bravo November. Top of descent. And let me select something lower. It's going to be flight level 200 at Tobit. 200 is set, and we can get started. Mac, descent, nav. Bestowing all the sun visors. "20 degrees in Heathrow. Warm for London, and I'm told that air conditioning is not very prevalent. Alright, let's go. Good, so the engines are on idle and heading down. Land is 118 miles away. I don't know if the A340-600 had automatic anti-ice, where it tells you, hey, icing encountered, turn on your anti-ice. I'm not sure. Because outside right now is minus 41, and we're going to need anti-ice as we go through this. Hasn't said anything yet, so one of two: either it's not actually icing conditions, or I'm misreading the situation. By the way, let's go ahead and set the anti-ice on. Engine start to ignition, and lower overhead will get all four engine anti-ice systems on. The use of wing anti-ice is determined by visual cues. So you'll see frost forming along the corners of your windscreen. The Airbus pretty nifty ice detection device or something out like that, and you can see ice accumulating there, which likely tells you that the ice is also accumulating elsewhere on the airframe. So if it's airframe icing, you would then turn on your wing anti-ice. Just going to turn all the brightnesses up. I just found that the PFDs and NDs are a bit dim for my liking. While we're here, we'll also do the camp displays. Note to self that Tobit will go ahead and... Oh, there we go, that's the message. Severe ice detected, wing anti-ice on. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn the wing anti-ice on as well. So the wing anti-ice has a bleed penalty, and I believe if you've used wing anti-ice any point in the flight, we'll need to do some changes here. We'll just do it with engine and wing, but obviously we're not too concerned at Heathrow. Turn that back to 270 at 4, which is a tailwind. Lovely. I don't know if the concept of VREF ice exists here on the 340, so I'm not sure. So we're gonna leave it and hope for the best. Clearly we're out of the icing conditions. There's no visible moisture to form icing, so all the anti-ice devices are off, and the pedestal ignition start back to normal. Turbid at level 200. Next will be Soppet at flight level 150. 150 set for Soppet. Wing anti-ice detected. Sorry. Anti-ice detected. Engine 1 anti-ice on. Okay, so back to it. Ignition back on. Well, it doesn't ask me for ignition. I'm not sure if that's actually required. Let's do it. I don't know why it detects ice when we are clearly out of the icing layer, but nevertheless. Icing is something very difficult to simulate. There are times when you are technically in icing conditions, like you would see, hey, this is icing conditions. Looking outside based on the temperature criteria, but there's no real ice formation. And other times you don't expect to see it, and you turn on your devices anyway, and it's quite strong icing. So it's yeah, it's a difficult one. It's we guess it, I suppose. So better safe than sorry. She's slowing down to 220 knots already, which she doesn't need to do until Wesco. So I'm not sure why that's happening. We'll go ahead and full speed, and we'll leave her at 310 knots. Might be a mistake on my part. Speed 310, let me just check. Yeah, it says 220 at Wesco, so interesting. Wesco's decently far away, about 40 miles away, so that's not really needed to slow down at this time. So FMC is saying it takes me 4 minutes at 250 knots, well, between 250 and 220 knots to traverse the 20 miles between Turbid and Soppet. I guess at speed 310 it'll probably be a bit closer to 3 minutes, at which I need to lose 5,000 feet. So I'm just gonna do BS there rather than go open descent, and it's about 1700 foot per minute. There is traffic here below us, or yeah, 1,000 below at Turbid. Going where? Yep, we're catching up to EZ4 Mike Lima, who's also going to London Heathrow. So 15,000 passing Turbid. Let's do 2,000 foot per minute, and we'll check on the easy and see what speed they're doing. Other way, we'll probably a wise idea to slow down to 250 so we don't catch up too quickly. So that's easy for Mike Lima, and just gonna shoot him a text to see what his speed is. We're just about 2.5 miles behind him, but he's 2,700 feet. We have a message now, it says ice not detected, so let's turn that off. And I'm gonna switch the ignition off. They're on a flight from Manchester to Heathrow. But it looks like they're also moving away, and I can adjust the VS back to about 1300 to get to go put at level 150. That also reduces our rate of closure with the guy, and he's off TCAS now because he's beyond 2,700 feet. So I've got a response from the gentleman or lady. Easy for Mike Lima is doing 291 knots indicated. So at Soppet at level 150. From Soppet to Wesco is 8 miles. Should be enough time to decelerate all the way to 220 knots, since we're essentially flat and level now. So speed 220 knots set. After Soppet Bovington at level 70. I'll go ahead and set level 70. We'll wait to speed 220 knots and then dive into Bravo November. So he's not in my way. He's direct to Charlie Foxtrot 09 left. Excellent. Shortcuts in London on VATSIM. Don't think I'm brave enough to do that. I'll go open descent here, which is a bit like a level change. So what the airplane does is on idle thrust it'll try to keep the speed, and that gives you the best rate of descent it can do. I mean, it is idle after all. Here we are at Wesco at 220 knots as required. Speed limit point, and next Bovington. So for the arrival I'm going to use a nav page so I can track the tails of the VORs as well, so I know that we are respecting the radials and we are overlaying the raw data for the arrival. So 16 miles to Bovington. I think I'm a touch high, required some speed brakes for the descent. I've forgotten the seatbelts. Those can go on along the way. No smoking. It's prohibited today. Has been prohibited the whole flight. And 222 knots instead, because the use of the speed brakes has caused the upper band to shoot up. So I think it might be better if we get some flaps on, flaps 1, and we'll go back to speed 220. The reason this happens on this aircraft is these wings are something called supercritical, so it's not really a flat bottom, it's more like a circle, and it's just very super thin wings, highly optimized. So that's partly why we get details like that on various Airbuses. Airbuy? I don't know. So unfortunately, it looks like Bovington, I'm still gonna be high. $10 miles to go. Can lose 3,000 feet. That puts me 1,500 feet too high, and based on the MTDU, that's correct. There are 2 other aircraft inbound for London Heathrow, Speedbird 221 Romeo and Virgin 401 Victor. Those 2 are starting the arrival from the east, so about this way, which means they may be in conflict with us. Yep, there they are. So what I'm gonna do is at Bovington, I'm not gonna carry on, we're gonna do the hold at Bovington. That's 115 inbound with right turns. So we're gonna start the hold. So we'll do maybe half a spin back to Bovington. So there's no need to expedite. We'll advise we're here, and we'll shuttle at 1,000 feet per minute. Heathrow traffic, hello, Virgin 24 Mike Heavy at Bovington. We're joining the hold at Bovington to make way for Speedbird 221 Romeo and Virgin 401 Victor. Virgin 24 Mike at the Bovington VOR. Virgin 401 Victor from Virgin 24 Mike Heavy. We are holding at Bovington. We're just going to wait for you to continue the approach. If you'd be kind enough to let us know when you cross the beam, the Bovington VOR will commence after you. Roger, thanks. Yep, we're watching you. We'll go behind. Thanks. 7,000 feet, speed 220. No point with the flaps then. Let's go back to up speed. So we'll retract the flaps and clean speed here. Okay, we'll exit the hold now. We'll go back to Bravo November November. Should be enough for us to slot in behind the Virgin. That's London City, so does affect us. Okay, facing back to Bravo November November, speed 220 set. Heathrow traffic, version 24 mic at Bravo November November, commencing ILS approach to 090 left, Heathrow traffic. Okay, I see somebody else also trying to cut in now. Ugh. So crossing Bovington, I'll need to stay at level 70. I'm gonna do heading 220 because this guy's in conflict. And is it descending? Not yet. 6,000 feet, descending 1,000 foot per minute. Air Canada 8444. It's Virgin 24 mic heavy. Okay, no joy. Hey, it seems we're just cutting ahead of you. We're doing speed 220. Any chance you could reduce? Roger, thanks. We're about 2.5 miles to your north. We're doing 220 and we'll maintain this until the base leg. If you could do 180 or less would be very kind of you. Thank you. And let's set us up direct here and inset, and we'll be good to go, and we'll activate the approach phase. And we'll keep the speed up. Nice and steady at 6,000 feet. Next is 3,500. I'll preset that. Okay, I'll get the flap started. and he's still descending, so let's get out of his way. 1,000 foot per minute. Go ahead for Virgin 24 Mike. Affirm, we are proceeding Golf Whiskey Charlie 40. Fill speed 220 knots, and we're descending out of your way. Thrust idle, open descent. LS on both sides. We should have India Alpha identified. Speed brakes half hot. Transition level altimeters need to be 1024. Set on the left and on the right now. Keep the speed going. Thank you, Canada. Virgin 24 Mike still at speed 220 will maintain until 3,000 feet. Thank you. 3,000 feet next. We'll try keep the speed as long as possible, just to give us some additional headroom with the traffic behind us. Approach mode is on. Next is 2,500 to 1,000 foot per minute descent, 500 foot per minute, sorry. And we'll set up with the S speed here, flaps 2, fly slope captured, missed approach altitude 3,000 set. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 24 Mike heavy established, ILS 09 left, 8 miles. And gear needs to go down now. Look at that, high speed, gears going down, on the glide, missed approach set, we're at 6 miles.
2,000.
That was the highest speed I've been. Massive tailwind. Flaps 3. That's landing flaps. Catching up with the guy. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 24 Mike, 4 miles, ILS 09 left. Okay, we got everything except the speed. Wow, this guy's still ahead. That's not gonna work. Mantoga SRS nav cross climb, SRS nav, flaps 2, gear up. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 2 full, Mike going around runway 09 left. Okay, speed all star. I was gonna go VS, but it's done its thing. Flaps 1. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 2 full, Mike 3000 feet, missed approach, 09 left, we're flying outbound, runway heading. Turning on to crosswind. Speed 220. And let's continue this climb to 6,000 feet. Okay. We'll reset the arrival and we'll go direct to land 30. Well, these are places we definitely need some form of air traffic control. So again, there's someone right behind me. Speed 240 set. Transition altitude, standard, set. So the approach mode has to be armed again. Wow, this is messy. Prepared 553 Charlie, Virgin 24 Mike, FA planning with speed 240 will do 220 at the base and 180 on closing. Thank you. A lot of people, and I'm late for my appointment. Next altitude 3,500. One mile to go. Dive. Cross idle, open descent. LS on both sides. She'll need speed brakes for this. Will be through transition shortly, altimeter 1024 set. Gonna use vertical speed here to up speed now, and I'll reduce the descent rate to 1300 foot per minute. Should be sufficient. Next is 3,000 feet. Go 1,000 foot per minute. Looks like somebody else there. Shouldn't be there. Flaps 1. Will increase to 500 foot per minute. And speed managed. Lovely. Cutting in. And who's that? Swiss 344. Not a word said. Flaps 2. Approach mode. Gear down. Flaps 3. 1,500 foot per minute. And now we're intercepting from above. Excellent.
2,500.
Start the speed brakes. Virgin 24 Mike established, ILS 09 left, 6 miles. Plus for captured, missed approach. 3,000 set. Yeah, so this guy's been landing without saying anything. Swiss 344, are you on frequency? Please report speed, you just cut in front of 3 people. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 24 Mike, 3 miles, ILS 09 left. Well, it's the best to rage quit. I'm gonna land on top of him. Autopilot disconnect. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 24 Mike, landing 09 left. It's about halfway down the runway. Continue.
20, retard, 10, 5.
Ooh, bad. It's a tailwind as well. Heathrow traffic, Virgin 24 Mike, clear 09 left. Chaos North, lovely. Thank you, Swiss. Thanks for your patience. Madness. Anyway, that kind of ruined the fun. Say no to Heathrow. Oh, good lord. Oh, come on. Well, again, not the best work with the 340. I think it was yet another slam down. Honestly, this guy. Jesus. Super annoying. Swiss 344. Come on, dude, you've got to do better. Well, there you go. I'm late. Despite the jump ahead. And my favorite GSX doesn't seem to want to work. So we'll just take this stand, call it a day, start the APU, turn off the taxi lights. Let's see it from the outside. Yeah, we'll go all the way forward. Nice. Parking brake set. Flight time was about 10 hours and 4 minutes. 10 hours 22. Block. AP is coming up now and we'll shut down the engines, 2 of them. Once it's on bus, I'll shut down the other 2. Almost done, folks. APU gen is available and all engines are off. APU bleeds on, beacons off, and seatbelts off. Welcome to Heathrow. Let's watch that landing and I will be off. Thanks very much, guys. Sorry for the mess at the end. We should have landed a little bit earlier, but maybe next time. Let's see. Replay mode. And let's go back to before I crash down. So around here. And we can watch. That was me turning base, so maybe a little bit further ahead. It's already on the ground. Here. And let's see how that looks on final to land. Definitely off VPilot. Let you guys enjoy this. I'm on my way out. Thank you. Arrivederci. Hope it ended up well.